This conference will now be recorded.
Well, friends, okay. And in the last session, we have learned about creating methods and calling methods and everything. And today, let me introduce you another small topic, Java constructors. Then I go with inheritance and interface concept today. Totally three major topics we are going to learn today in object-oriented. What are all Java constructors and what is the use of Java constructors? And the other thing, the inheritance concept. What is inheritance? What is the use of inheritance? Where we go with inheritance? And the interface concept. These three concepts we are going to learn today. Let us start with first Java constructors. Java constructors. First, let me teach you like this. A Java constructor or a constructor in Java is a special method, is another method inside the class. Is a special method. And what is the purpose of this method? Used to initialize objects. It is used to initialize the objects. You want to set up some initial values for a class. We can define a constructor which is a special method inside the class. See, whenever there is a constructor available inside a Java class, this constructor is called when an object is created for the class. Whenever you create an object for the class, this constructor, sorry, spelling mistake, when an object is created for the class. So whenever you create an object for some Java class, if there is a constructor in the Java class, so automatically this constructor will be called. Finally, it is used to set initial values. We'll talk about this. Initial values for class or object properties. Properties or attributes, whatever it may be. It is used to set up some initial value for the class properties, for the object properties otherwise. So for example, let's see. Here, okay. Here I'm creating a class with the name my class. My class. Okay. I created a class with the name my class. Now, inside the class body, I'm creating a constructor. I'm creating a constructor for this my class. How? How to create a constructor? Just public, no static, no void, and nothing. Public, and I'm creating the constructor name. My class is the constructor I'm creating. And here, at class level, I'm declaring some variable x. There is a variable declared at class level. I was not initialize any value. So here inside the constructor, I am setting up the value, say x equal to 5, something like this. Here, this is called class constructor. My class constructor also I have given as my class. Okay, let me explain how to use it. Maybe in some other class or in the main method, I'm going to create an object and call that. Here I'm creating a main method. Just a minute. I'm creating a main method. So rather than going to one more class and creating an object, in the main method, I'm creating an object for the current class and I'm calling it. Here, I'm creating an object for this class. How to create an object for the class? My class, some object name. Say, for example, my object equal to new my class. Okay. I have created an object for this my class. Here object name is my object. Now let me print my object dot x. See here, whenever I said the constructor is automatically called whenever you create an object for the class name. A constructor used to initialize a value for the object properties. So now I'm just using the x here. Already in the constructor, I set up the x value to initialize the x value to 5. Let me run this. That 5 is printed. Okay, okay. Now, how to define parameters for the constructors? So here, for the constructor, I'm defining a parameter y. Inside the code, instead of giving a value, hard-coded value 5, I'm giving y, x equal to y. Now here, you please observe it is showing an error because while creating a object for the class, my class, one second, we must supply the constructor y. Supposing here I'm giving some value 10. So what happens now? What happens now here? You tell me. You answer me what happens in this statement. The value 10 will be initialized to x. Now I'm printing the text value. So my object dot x. Now the 10 will be printed. While creating, one second, sorry. My object dot x. While creating an object for the class, we are supplying an input parameter. That is nothing but a constructor here. Now the x value would be 10. So while creating an object for the class, if you want to initialize some value, set up some values, you can go for a constructor kind of concept. So we are going to use the constructor concept in Selenium while discussing about this. That time you will understand more, when to go for this constructor. A simple example to understand this. Let me explain you the practical scenario where we go for the constructor concept. So here in this home page, I have a drop-down list here. I have one drop-down list here. Selenium provided a class called select. Selenium provided a class. Select is a predefined class available in the Selenium. The select class provided some built-in function to perform some drop-down list related operations. Selenium provided select class to perform some drop-down list related operations. Let me do something here. Okay, it takes time. Okay. How many drop-down lists are available in this page? Do observe. How many drop-down lists are available in this page? Selenium offered a class, select. Select is the class name. This class provided some functions, set of built-in functions like string class to work with the drop-down list. Here in this page, we have only one drop-down list element. Only one drop-down list element. Okay. So now, I'm opening another web page. How many drop-down lists you are seeing here in this page? 3. Day, month, and year. There are 3 drop-down lists here. Well said. Now, I said Selenium offered a class, select class. These select class provided some methods. The Selenium select class provided some methods. We'll do one thing. Temporarily, just I'm associating Selenium page to my Java tutorials. I associated. Now this is Selenium. Don't worry much about this. I associated a API called Selenium. Like Java, there are many packages available in the Selenium. There is a package selenium.interactions, no, UI support. Selenium.UI, support.UI. Yes, here it is. In the selenium.support.UI, there is a class available. You please observe this class name. There is a ready-made class available in the Selenium. What is the class name here? What is the class name we are seeing? Select. Correct? Select is the class name. Well, like a string class in Java, like array list in Java, there is a ready-made class available in the Selenium called select. These select class specially designed to interact with drop-down list element. Well, now, in this Selenium select class, these are the various methods available. Let's see here. Select by index, select by value, select by visible text, deselect, get options. All these are drop-down list related functions. If you want to make Selenium to interact with a drop-down list element present in your page, we have to create an object for the select class. Okay. Now, what I will do, here, some demo test I'm creating. Here, already in the project Selenium was associated. There's a class available in the Selenium called select. I'm creating an object for the Selenium select class. Select some name x equal to new select. You please observe the select here. Keenly observe this one. While creating an object for the select class, we are trying to create an object for the select class. It is asking a constructor. What is the constructor it is asking? You answer me. It is asking a constructor. What is the constructor it is asking? Web element. So while creating an object for the Selenium select class, we must supply for which drop-down list element you have created this object. Maybe in this scenario, you have to supply the day or month or year. If I want to perform some operation on the first drop-down list, this element you have to supply as a constructor. If I want to perform some operation on the month drop-down list, month drop down list element we have to supply as a constructor. That is a concept. Got it? We'll see this later in detail, because from Monday onwards we go with the Selenium. And here I'll go back to my my class. Here I created a constructor. Constructor name is this my class. Okay. This is a constructor for my class. It is asking one input argument y. Now let's see this once again, like the previous one. I'm creating an object for the my class, my object equal to new my. You are see previously select class, Selenium select class asking a constructor web element, because it needs a element, it needs a web element to perform some action. Same way, now if really you want to pass a element as a constructor, something as a constructor, we have to define the constructor. Here y, it needs an integer value. I'm giving some value, say for example 20. Now the object will be created. While creating the object, the constructor will be called. The 20 will be supplied to x here. Now I'm printing my object dot x. Let me run this. The 20 will be printed now. I hope you understood this now. Did you understood this? Okay, we'll do one thing. I create one more example to conclude this topic, to understand this topic. So already there is car available here. One second. In some other package, I'm creating a class with the name car. Okay. Let me teach you again the usage of the constructor. What is the purpose of the constructor? Right. Here, I'm declaring some variable. First, maybe the model name, car model name, string, car name or car model name or whatever it may be. Car name, or say model name, whatever it may be, model name. And one more variable, integer, model year. Okay. These are the two variables I have declared at class level, model name and model year. Now, I'm creating a constructor for this class. How? Public and the class name car. While creating the constructor, I'm defining two arguments for this constructor. What are the two arguments? Maybe the first one is C name, car name. Next one is year. Now inside, I'm initializing the value to the model name. Model name equal to C name. Model year equal to year. Something like this. Right. Now, my class name is car. For this car class, I have defined a constructor with two arguments. And do remember, constructor name should be always same, because this is a constructor for the same class. So while creating an object, so here, maybe some other class, otherwise in the main method, now I am creating an object for the class car. While creating an object for the class car, you must supply two input arguments as constructors. Okay. Car is my class name. my car is my object name equal to new car. You do observe now, you have to supply two arguments for the constructor. What are the two we have to supply? Car name. I'm giving some car name here. Say for example, like BMW. I'm giving the year, say 2020. Now I'm accessing my car dot model name. My car dot model name, because here whatever the data you pass, C name BMW stored into model name, because here model name equal to C name, model year equal to year dot model name. Then my car dot model year. So we are passing 2020 while creating an object. So these values can be accessed. I hope you understood this now at least. Please do confirm. You understood this one? Only the constructor used to initialize a value while creating an object. That's it. A constructor is an optional thing which is used to initialize the value for the class properties while creating an object for the class. It's not mandated that you have to define a constructor for every class. I told you clearly the previous scenario. Selenium provided select class to perform some drop-down list related operation. There is a chance a page has multiple drop-down lists. For which drop-down list you want to perform the action for a particular drop-down list. So while creating an object for the class, you have to initialize the drop-down list element. That's it. So this is about the constructor concept. Please do confirm understood. So I go with the inheritance. Okay. Right. Now, let me teach you the inheritance concept. What I will do, I'll give you an example here so that I'll upload this document to the drive for your understanding. Now, inheritance. So what is this inheritance? A simple, very simple thing. A baby inherits the properties of a mother, parent, correct? A baby inherits the properties of a mother. And let us say another example. In a company, there are about 1,000 employees are working. In 1,000 employees, say in a company, 1,000 employees working. In these 1,000 employees, few are managers and few are officers and other employees are executive cadre, executive cadre employees. 1,000 employees working in a company. Few people are managers, few people are officers, and few people are executive cadre employees. Right. Now, here I can say all managers, officers, and these executives belongs to employee, correct? Employee. All are finally employees. All are finally employees. Maybe few people are managers, few people are officers, few people are executives. So here, even all employees will have some common properties. Supposing here, employee is my parent class. Okay? These employee parent class will have few methods like maybe get employee name, get salary of the employee, something like this. Because every employee will have a name and every employee will have some salary. Get employee name, assumption. Get employee name is the function which is retrieving the employee name based on the given employee number. Get salary is another method which is giving salary details about the employee based on the given employee number. So every employee will have these two properties, get employee name and get salary, correct? And a manager has some special functions which all other employees may not do. A manager, officer has some special functions which other employees may not do, correct? So in this scenario, I can say the manager class, the officer class, and executive class. All these cadres basically employees, correct? Or child classes, I can say. These are called child classes. Okay? The same way. Give me another example. Car is a parent class. And here, supposing I defined a classes like BMW and this Audi and this Benz, whatever, these are child classes. Okay. Just to make the point clear, what you mean by parent and what you mean by child, I given these two examples. Employee, their cadres. Car, BMW, Audi, Benz, all these classes will get some basic properties of the car class. In this scenario, car is a parent class. Parent class also can be represented as a superclass. You can call a parent class also as a superclass. BMW, Audi, Benz are child classes. We can also call them as subclasses. Superclass, subclass, otherwise parent class and child class. Now, what is the concept of the inheritance? Inheritance is a process of building another class similar to the parent class, otherwise it's a process of acquiring, fetching, acquiring properties of one class into another class. Properties of one class into another class. Here, the class whose properties are taken or acquired is called parent class, and the class that acquired the properties is called child class. Now, inheritance is a building a class, another class, by fetching the properties of another class, by accessing the properties of other class. In very simple words, it's a process of fetching the properties of one class into another class. Here, the class whose properties are taken is called parent, and the class which have taken the properties is called child class. The parent class also can be called as a superclass. Child class also can be called as a subclass. In Java, this inheritance can be implemented using a keyword extends. So extends is a keyword used to implement this inheritance concept. So let's see this one. Let's see this one. Okay, here I'm creating a class with the name P class, parent class. For your understanding, I'm giving a name like, okay, otherwise say why, parent class. Directly I'm giving the name like this, parent class. In the parent class, I'm declaring some variables here. For example, variable 1, variable 2. Similarly, I'm creating some methods. Or if I want to assign the value, I'll assign the value. Here 10. Okay. String. I'm giving in a common way equal to some data. Well, here I'm creating a method public void method 1. This is parent class method something. Right. Here just I declared a class, parent class. I declared two variables. I defined a parent class. I declared two variables. I declared one method. Done. Now here I'm creating one more class. I'm creating one more class, child class. Now, while creating a child class, keenly observe now, here I'm using this inheritance concept. this child class, I'm using a keyword extends the parent class. So what happens? What happens now? Whatever available in the parent class. What is available in the parent class? There are two variables and there is one method. Variables and methods present in the parent class copied into the memory of the child class. Whatever the variables and methods available in the parent class will be copied into the memory of the child class. Now let's see. Now here, in this child class, there are no variables, there are no methods. Now directly I can access that variable 1 and variable 2 because they are already copied into the memory of the child class. Just I'm printing the variable 1. What's the variable name I have given here? Var1. Okay. Public. Okay. You please observe the main method is a static method. Already I told you a static method can access only other static members of the class. Correct? So here this should be of type static. Otherwise, if it is a non-static method, you can access anything in the child class. Now here it's a static, and this also I'll change it next time. This also I'm making a static because here in the child class I have implemented a main method which is a static method. We know a static method can access only other static members of the class. Okay, now I'm accessing the variable 2 and even I'll change it later. This also I made it a static, and here I'm directly calling the method, that method 1. See, I was not created any object or nothing, directly I'm calling the method 1. When I run this, we are able to access the variables and methods available in the parent class directly into the child class. Only because of this static method, I made the members of the parent class as static. Okay. So now I'll go to the parent. No, all are now non-static. All are now non-static. I'm going to a child class, a public void some test method. Okay. Now here it's a non-static method now. You know non-static method can access both static and non-static members of the class. A simple what I'm trying to teach. Let me do it once again. Supposing here I have a variable int some x equal to 5. Well, let me access this here, x. So it is showing some error line here. You tell me why it is showing an error. Why it is showing an error here? Yes, answer me why it is showing an error line here. A static method trying to access a non-static member, because here x is a non-static member. Same thing, same problem we have received earlier. Got it? Got it right? Whereas a non-static method can access anything. Either it can be a static or non-static. A non-static method can access both static and non-static members of the class. Well, so now, okay. I'll create a non-static method, some test method. It's a non-static method, right? So now I'm accessing that variable 1 and I'm accessing that variable 2. Even I'm accessing that method 1. Method 1 in the parent class. Okay, it's a non-static method. One second. Oh, I'm using system.println, sorry. Method 1. Okay. You know, system.println needs an expression. Method 1. So this is allowed here. This is allowed here. See, we are not getting because all this is available in the memory of the child class directly. You can access them. Maybe this non-static method you can call from a main or you can call using some testng, etc. It's too early to discuss about this. Without using main method also you can execute a function. How? Let's see what I'm doing. For this my Java tutorials, I'm associating some API, a library called JUnit or testng or whatever, JUnit available. Okay, JUnit. And here there is a annotation @test. No main method required. Any function, if you associate it with JUnit or testng annotation @test, automatically that method will be executed. You does not require any main method. Not only execution, it will show you the results in a graphical format also. It's too early to discuss about this. Later we'll talk about this. Just to demonstrate the concept, I have used JUnit here, that's it. And this output we have. And this is your console output. So I hope you understood the concept of the inheritance. Okay. Let me show you the practical, let me explain the practical scenario in testing point of view where we use this concept. See, if I'm working in an organization as a Selenium tester, maybe I'm not going to work on multiple projects. Maybe the premise bank application, say that Orange HRM application, something like this. Okay. Or, okay, let us consider one Orange HRM application. Either you are working on multiple projects or let us take only one project you are working, lay Orange HRM application. Here, when you talk about test cases, what are the test cases we have to create? One test case 1, admin login. Test case 2, employee registration, correct? We have admin login, employee registration, user registration, etc. So now, here to explain this, I'm creating Orange HRM dot test cases, something like this. Here, my first test case class will be For in Java, I mean everything in terms of classes only, right? Test case also we have to create as classes. My first class will be admin login test. Just a minute. Admin login test. Well, in the same way, you are going to create multiple test cases for a project. Say maybe my second test case, employee registration test. Maybe my next test case, I mean user registration test. Well, so for executing all these three test cases, what is the first step? You answer my question. What is the first step? For executing all these test cases, what is step one? In testing point of view, I'm asking you. What is the first step? Enter browser URL, open browser URL, open browser. Well, so what I will do now, listen, what I will do now, maybe in the same package or in some other package, I'll create a class with the name application utils. Maybe I given some name like that, app utils, application utils, or test utils, whatever it may be. Now in application utils, here I'll create a function launch application. Here I'll write Selenium code to open a browser and some Selenium code to enter URL and click go button. Enter URL and click go. How this is we are going to learn from Monday using Selenium. I create a function, maybe my function name launch application. Maybe sometimes better application to application URL also will change, right? Maybe one argument application URL, app URL, my application URL. What are the URL I am giving, passing while calling the function, with that URL application going to be open. Then I create one more function, close browser or close application, whatever. And here I'm going to write some Selenium code to close the browser. See, either admin login test case, employee registration test case, or user registration test case. What is the first step? What is the first step? Launching the application. After validating admin login, finally, what is the last step? What is our last step? Closing the application. For even employee registration also, step one is launching the application, last step closing the application. For user registration also, first step is launching the application, last step is closing the application. So what I do simply, this admin login test extends app utils. So whatever the common things you require for every test case, URL, launch application, close application, you need in every test case, correct? In all the test cases of your project. Such kind of common variables, common functions, I'm going to keep in a class like app utils. So definitely all members of this class should be of type static because they are common utilities. Now here, admin login test extends app utils. So directly here, supposing I'll create a test method, test admin login Now, directly I can call that launch application. See, here I am not going to specify the class name but method name, because what happens? All members, whatever available in the app utils, are copied into the memory of the admin login test. The current test is admin login test. You no need to specify the class name. You no need to create an object. Directly you can access the methods. Some URL like this. Now your function will open the, if the code available, it will open the Orange HRM application. And here we write the remaining procedure. Now finally I want to close the application. Directly I can call the function close application. Similarly, I go to employee registration test. Here employee registration test extends that app utils. Now here everything will be copied into the memory of the employee registration test. I can call them, I can access them. So directly I can call launch application. Even I can call the close application. You no need to specify the class name dot method name. You no need to refer the class name. You no need to create an object if you really go for extends. So whatever present in the parent, copied into the memory of the child, directly you can access them. So we have to always remember one point, that all things we should not put into, everything we should not put into parent. Only common stuff, whatever mostly you require in child classes, we have to put in the parent. Do confirm you understood this now? No, these are practicality in Selenium point of view. The common utilities we can keep in a parent that you can inherit into child class and access them. So that you no need to specify the class name, you no need to create an object every time. But do remember, always common things, whatever mostly you required in all the remaining test cases, we have to keep in parent. If you keep everything in the parent class, it occupies lots of memory. Because whenever a child class extending the parent, if 100 methods are available in the parent class, all 100 methods are copied into the child class memory, but you are using just 2, 3, you are unnecessarily blocking the memory. So common utilities, mostly what we are going to use in the child classes, remaining classes, we have to keep in the parent, not each and everything. But definitely launch application, close application, we need in every test case, such kind of common methods we can keep in the parent class. So simply the parent class can be extended to child and we can make use of it. Got it? Now, the last concept, that is, interface for today. Just a simple concept, let me teach you that. Already I have the code ready for that. I'll explain here. Already, in fact, in the last few days back session also, you have answered my question. Here, I have a class. Once again. First, I already told you something like this. These banks, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, something like that. The parent is Reserve Bank of India. In the same way, here, if you want to create an interface nothing but a superclass. Public interface name. What is the syntax of creating a class? Public class name. To create an interface, public interface name. And do remember, interface will have only signatures, not the body, not the actual code implementation. Vehicle is an interface. All vehicles will have start option, speed option, and stop option. But starting a bike procedure may be different. Starting a bus procedure may be different. Starting a car procedure may be different. But functions will be available in all the objects, but procedure may be different. So it will have only the function signatures, no code, no actual code implementation. Common function names are available here. And let us see, here it is an interface. Vehicle is the interface here. Car class. While creating a class, public class name, car, it implements the interface vehicle. Class implements interface vehicle. Here you will write the actual code. Same function, whatever the functions available here, we can make use of them. Start. Start. Here you have to write the procedure of starting a car. But actually I am simply printing car started. Speed of the car, 100 kilometers. Stop. Car stop. See, three functions, whatever available in Super, actual implementation available here, because implementation may vary from object to object. Starting car procedure may be different. Starting bike procedure may be different. So actual code implementation will be available at class level. Only the function names will be available at interface level. And in addition to the common functions, what are the common functions here? Start, speed, and stop. The particular object may have some other functionality. See here, I added one more functionality. See, start, speed, stop. We have actual implementation here, car implementation. Car object may have one functionality which may not available in the other object. For example, in the car I have reverse functionality, reverse gear invoke, which is not available in the bike, which is not in the bike. Now let us go to the bike. Bike class implements vehicle. You have starting a bike, speed of the bike, let us say 60 kilometers are given, stop option available, and here bike has a function handle lock which is not available for the car. So class should implement all the functions of the interface. You can have some extra functions. It's not mandatory. You can have some extra function. If this particular object has an extra functionality, that you can. Okay. Now here, vehicle is the interface. It has common signatures. The actual code available in the appropriate class level. Bike has the implementation. Car has the implementation. This object may have extra functionality apart from the common functions available in the interface. Now, let us see how to use them. How to use the interface and class concept here. Now, the interface name, vehicle. See, vehicle is the interface here. Vehicle is the interface. I'm giving my object, or my vehicle is my object name, equal to new. Sir, I'm creating an object for not interface. We never create an object for the interface. We create always object for the class. This time, car. Now here I created an object for the car class. Here car is an implementation of the vehicle. Now my vehicle dot, I'm using start. My vehicle dot speed. Whatever the functions available in the car class I'm using. My vehicle, dot stop. Okay. Let me run this code. Now what is my vehicle now? Car. Car started, 100 kilometer speed, and car stopped. Got it? Now, same program I want to this time apply for my other vehicle, other object, that is bike. I no need to make any changes, only just I'm changing the object name. This time, vehicle, my vehicle equal to bike. I no need to touch the remaining code. The same code will be executed with the reference of the bike class now. Bike started with 60 kilometers, bike stopped. You understood this? While creating an object for a class, you are giving the implementation name so that the same code I can apply for any other object. The same logic will work for other object, belongs to the same type. Okay, if I have a bus also, just I can change the bus here, that's it. Remaining entire code I no need to change. Okay, here, where this kind of concept will be used in the Selenium. You please observe here, in the Selenium, Using Selenium, I can test my web application using different browsers. Firefox browser, one of the browser, Chrome other browser, Internet Explorer other browser, Safari other browser, Opera other browser. There are different browsers available. And keenly observe here. In Selenium, see here. In Selenium.Chrome package, I have a class called Chrome driver. There is a class called Chrome driver. What it is? It's a class. You please observe. C indicates that it is a class. And you do observe, you have only Chrome browser related functions here. Chrome related methods are available. Same way, in the other package, Firefox, I have a class called Firefox driver. Do observe, Firefox driver also a class. It has Firefox browser related functionality methods. Similarly, here, one second, IE, right. In this package, I have a class called Internet Explorer driver. This class used to work with has only Internet Explorer IE related methods, IE related functionality. All these are classes, correct? Firefox driver is a class, Chrome driver is a class. You please observe C. Internet Explorer driver is a class. Similarly, we have Safari driver. Observe here, Safari. In some other package, I have Safari driver, which is a class. And this class also a completely Safari related method. Now, listen. Selenium provided Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Internet Explorer driver, and Safari driver classes which implements an interface called WebDriver. Here, WebDriver is an interface. Let's see where is the WebDriver. In Selenium, directly Selenium package, org.openqa.selenium. OpenQA is another community who mostly made the Selenium 2.0 WebDriver. Selenium, here. In this package, you do observe, sir, even interface also a kind of a class, superclass only. It is a Java interface. WebDriver is an interface. You please observe some functions of the WebDriver here. Navigate, get the URL, get the title of a browser, get the current URL of the browser, quit the browser, or close the browser. Quit meaning close all tabs in the browser. Manage, browser manage option, deleting cookies, etc. Navigate to next page, navigate to previous page, something like this. You do observe this close, quit, navigate, get URL. Every browser will have these options, right? You please observe here, navigate, navigation, back, forward, browser refresh, go to some URL, browser options, add cookies, delete cookies. See, whatever we are seeing, all are common to all the browsers or not? You answer me. Whatever the methods we are seeing here, all are common for all the browsers or not? So, all commons are present in an interface WebDriver. Okay, like the vehicle, Safari driver, Opera driver, Firefox driver, Chrome driver are the implementation of the web driver. Got it? So if I want to test my application on a Firefox browser, like the previous one, my object name equal to Firefox driver, implementation of the web driver. And I'll write my test case here. Maybe in future I want to execute my test case on Safari browser. I no need to change my logic. Only in place of Firefox driver, I'll change it to the Chrome driver or whatever. Just simply I'll write it. Simply I write it. What is the interface name? What is the interface name? Like the previous one. Web driver is my interface name. Some name driver, some name driver equal to new Firefox driver. New Firefox driver. Okay. Now driver dot navigate or get. I'm using a method. Maybe the URL of the application. http:// say google.com. Okay. Now driver dot, don't try to, just to understand the concept, navigate to some other URL, say facebook.com. Just I'm asking Selenium to wait for some amount of time so that you'll observe what is happening. Wait for, 2 seconds. After waiting for 2 seconds, close the browser. Close. I have written some code here. Now when I run the code, I'm running this code. Selenium code it is actually. From Monday onwards, we run this part in detail. You please observe what my program is doing. It is opening the Firefox. Yes, sir, it is opening Firefox. Keenly observe. It's opening the Firefox, first Google, then it goes to Facebook, and close the application, close the browser. After 2 seconds, because I made Selenium to wait, done. You observe what happened, right? Did you observe what happened? Now what I want to do, same logic I want to execute, not on the Firefox, say for example on the Chrome or Safari. I no need to touch my rest of the logic. Just here I change it to Chrome driver. Because all are common implementation of the web driver. This is the advantage of mapping a class to the interface. For any object, you can apply the procedure. Now the same code is executing on the Chrome browser. Same program, this time executing on the Chrome browser. Observe it is executing on the Chrome browser here. It's working on the Chrome browser. Now page still is loading. Once the page loaded, it will wait for 2 seconds and close the browser. Done. If I want to go with Safari, I don't have Safari. If I want to go with Internet Explorer, I can go with Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer, something like this. So this is the advantage of writing the code. So while creating an object for the class, specify the interface name so that the entire body in future you can change for any other object of the same type. Got it? So this is the way of writing the code using classes and interfaces. I hope you understood this now. So totally today we have learned about constructor concept, inheritance concept, and this interface concept. What is a framework? We have not yet started Selenium. You are asking about the framework. After 1 month only we see the framework. First, we have not yet started Selenium. Framework is the entire approach. Can I show you one framework today? So that tomorrow you will not attend the class. We'll talk about that. I just told you, Mr. Lakshman, when from the day one I am observing, when I am teaching AB, you are asking what is XY. Training should follow a proper strategy. We are at the very beginning. If you are asking about the automation test framework, Cucumber framework, if I teach Cucumber framework, nobody will understand, right? Do you know Cucumber? Do you know Cucumber plugin? Then we have not yet even started Selenium, right? Just to teach you some concept like, see, I'm teaching you Java concept, okay, but always some question running in your mind, where we practically this kind of concept will be used in the Selenium. For that reason, just to show you mapping a class to an interface, I given this example. Truly, I was not teach Selenium to you today, right? Friends, I stop here today, and one moment. By tomorrow morning, you see, 1 second, what is today? Okay. I'll do one thing. Swati, I mean, purpose of the grid is different. You wait, I'll teach you. Don't worry about it. If you want to run the test cases simultaneously on a server on multiple clients, then only we use the grid concept. Yes, what you are correct, but you know, not for this. At a time, you want to run the test case on multiple computers on different browsers at a shot, not one by one, at a shot. Then we go for grid. Well, I stop here today. Tomorrow morning, I'll give an email with some exercises on the Java basics, whatever we learned from beginning till today. Okay. And tomorrow evening, no, we don't have class. Monday we continue. Monday I'm going to start for the Selenium. As of now, I was not started any Selenium. Monday I'm going to start the Selenium. Okay. Right. In between, whatever the classes, just the tutorials, you just go through all the videos. Okay. So Monday I'll start with the Selenium. Thank you. Good night. We'll continue Monday.